about to show you how to get 5 extra real estate deals per month working only 4 hours per day without ever having to host an open house again, door knock, or cold call. Because after helping over 60 realtors get consistent deals without prospecting, we have developed a repeatable process to remove you from the business while increasing your deal flow. So in the next 7 minutes, I'm going to show you the new way of getting consistent real estate deals in 2025 so that you can be your own boss and grow your business without ever hitting a ceiling again. Because we all know how much cold calling and door knocking suck, and that's exactly why I put together this video. So sit back, take out a pen and paper, and let's dive in.
Now, we see so many realtors all making some of the exact same mistakes, and you can't blame them because, no one ever tells you when you get into real estate that you're starting a business. You're starting a business entirely from the ground up, and your odds of success are extremely low. They're, just as low as any other startup company trying to get their business off the ground. We all know that most agents drop out of the business. They say 80% of agents don't make it beyond 2 years. And then you take it a step beyond that, 95% of agents don't make it beyond 5 years. And then the numbers just keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller the longer, they actually stay in the business. And the same rule applies to who's actually doing the business. We've all heard, the saying that 20% of realtors are doing 80% of the business in the industry. And that's because that small 20% of agents actually know what they're doing. They are operating their real estate business like a business. They're delegating, they're focusing on the highest leverage activities at hand. And so when we look at one person, when we look at one agent, this ball represents their energy. It represents their time. It represents their bandwidth. This is, the actual person here. Now, what most agents are doing is running every single part of the business themselves. So they are cold calling, they're door knocking, they're doing all of their marketing, they're creating mailers, they're reaching out to their sphere, they're doing all of these things on their own. They're applying to emails, they're working their transactions, they're focusing on all these different activities being pulled in a million different directions all at the same time. Whereas what really, they should be doing is actually meeting face to face with buyers and sellers. You always want to be focusing on the highest leverage activity in the business. What is the number one thing that's going to pay you the most amount of money in the long run? All of the other tasks still need to get done, but those are the ones that you actually want to delegate. Those are the ones that you want to hire out. Whether it's contracting companies, whether you're hiring people onto your own team, there's a lot of different ways you can go about doing this, but you always want to make sure that you're focusing on the number one aspect of the business. And if you do that, assuming that your energy is divided equally among all the different things that most agents are doing right now, they're only able to go so far. Because that's why the distance of these arrows are so short, is because they're only actually able to move so far in each direction, and that's why they move so slowly. You see agents year over year over year over year, not really making any progress. And so, when you have an agent that really just focuses on one thing, whether that the highest leverage activity can be different from agent to agent. Some agents who are super, super good at cold calling, it might make sense for them to spend all of their time cold calling. I've seen agents that are absolutely incredible at knocking doors, and they can actually get a handful of listing appointments a week, knocking doors. Mailers, there's, social media. A lot of agents do a ton of posting on social media. Like, that's something that you can't really delegate because it's putting your own face on screen. You obviously have to be sitting there in front of the camera doing it actively. Now, the problem with focusing on these tasks is they're time consuming. They take your time. And then as soon as you, finish, as soon as you are getting business from these different activities, you're not going to have the time to continue working on these tasks. You're going to be, your attention is going to shift over towards taking care of your clients and making sure that they're happy and they're actually having a great experience. Now, if you're able to focus on the highest leverage activity, which ultimately is this one, focusing on your clients, meeting face-to-face, attending appointments, listing appointments, buyer's consultations, meeting face-to-face with your sphere, actually getting in front of people and converting business into, people into business and closing those deals. If you just focus on that and say that this is that direction, you are going to go so much further in your business when you shift from having your energy go in all these different directions like this to just focusing on the one most important thing in the business, you are going to be able to go so much further than you would if you were doing all these other things. And that's why we see so many agents constantly working these, 60, 70 hour work weeks all the time. And it's because realistically, they're trying to do every single task in the business themselves. So if they focus on that highest leverage activity, they're going to be able to make so much more money. Think about it. How long does the average listing appointment take or buyer's consultation take? Let's say it takes 2 hours to actually do an entire listing appointment. If you have 8 hours in a day, look back at your weeks, look back at your time, and look at what you're actually spending all of your time doing. If you take even just 40 hours a week, how many listing appointments can you actually go on every single week? Well, if it takes 2 hours, and let's even account some time in for like driving and prep and everything. Let's say you just do 2 listing appointments every single day. If you have 2 listing appointments a day, 5 days a week, that's going to be 10 listing appointments every single week. Times 4 is going to be 40 listing appointments per month. And if we do some quick math here, 40 listing appointments a month, and if you take, say the average home price is, $300,000 in your area or $400,000. Let's just say the average commission on a deal in your market is going to net you around $10,000 in commission. If you do that if you're attending 40 listing appointments and you're not even closing every single one of them, say you're literally only closing half of them and you're getting 20 new listings every single month at a 50% close rate. Most agents do a lot better than that as long as they can get in the door, as long as they're focusing on that highest leverage activity. Then you're going to be getting 20 new listings every single month. Now, obviously, times $10,000, that's a lot of money that you're leaving on the table because you're focusing on those lower leverage activities, trying to do everything in the business all on your own. And so you have to understand the value of delegating these lower leverage activities so that you can focus on the highest leverage activity in the business, which is meeting with potential buyers and sellers. And that's why so many agents are incredibly successful with the program and the systems that we install into their business, because that buys back their time. Yes, they're spending money on marketing. Yes, they're investing into advertisements. Yes, they're paying ISAs to be able to convert delegate these tasks. But that's the same thing as starting a business. When you start a business, you're hiring people to take care of the lower leverage tasks. And that's exactly what our agents do. And so by delegating the marketing, having somebody else take care of that, whose entire focus is marketing, marketing's the highest leverage thing that person can be doing. The agent can focus all of their time and energy on working with their sphere, on actually getting in front of people, on doing things that aren't, outsourceable, like shooting content, and growing their social media organically. Like there's so many things that they could be doing that has so much more leverage. If they just attend those 2 appointments a day and the rest of the day they're shooting content and posting on social media, that agent is going to go so much further than the agent that's doing every single thing in the business themselves. And so that's the mindset shift that we have to work on when it comes to building our real estate businesses. We have to always be focusing on the highest leverage activity in the business in order for you to get that exponential growth that you originally got into the business to achieve. And so when you take some time and you really sit down and you work out the math and you figure out exactly what you should actually be focusing on, you're going to be able to take your business so much further than you would be if you continue just doing every single thing in the business. So don't be afraid to spend money. Don't be afraid to outsource. Don't be afraid to delegate these lower leverage activities, as long as you're replacing the time that it takes you to do those things with higher leverage activities. You don't want to just outsource, all of your marketing and everything. You don't want to just hire an ISA to call all of your leads and then, lounge around on the couch all week and just do nothing. You want to be able to replace that time, have somebody take over those activities that you're spending so much time doing right now so that you can start you can be going on, an extra couple listing appointments every single day and actually converting more business, more opportunities into clients that are paying you and in the end result, making you more money. Now, if you want to look into having our team take care of some of this stuff for you, from marketing, getting leads in the door, to having our in-house ISA team do all of the follow-up and everything for you, as well as manage the systems to help make sure that nothing slips through the cracks in the long run, then go ahead and click the link in the description or check out our hour-long free course on how to build out some of these systems on your own. And if you have any other questions, just drop a comment down below and we'll make sure to touch on those as well.